Hello Sagittarius, Turquoise Tarot here with your reading for 17. I hope you're all doing well. Happy Halloween to those of you who celebrate. I'm interested to know if you're going to be celebrating this year, what you intend on doing. If you plan on dressing up, let me know what your costumes are, what you plan on doing. Myself personally, we are having a little get together here with some friends and family. And I will be dressing up. I'm not quite sure what I will be yet. That's still in the works, so we'll see. I have a Dia de los Muertos idea for a theme for the party and for a costume. So we'll see. I want to remind you guys that I do have specials going on right now for private readings. So if you request a 8-minute, 1-question reading, it's $8. That will be in video form, so that will be emailed to you with 8 hours after your payment and your questions are received. You get to keep that video and watch it how many times you'd like. And if you're interested in that, I will post the information in the information box below. Okay? Also, if you're interested, excuse me, I'm losing cards here. If you're interested in making a donation to the channel, which is always greatly appreciated, I will post the link for that below as well. With my little announcements out of the way, let me go ahead and get started with your reading. The first reading is going to be general. We're going to look at general messages for the month, and then I will do 2 love readings, one for singles, one for couples. So what are the general messages for Sagittarius for the month of June? Alright. First card we have is the King of Swords. I'm sorry, King of Wands. Why do I want to say Swords? 10 of Pentacles. The Knight of Swords. Emperor. 9 of Pentacles. Queen of Cups. Ace of Cups. 9 of Swords. And the Star. Beautiful. Bottom of the deck, overall energy is the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, let me just look this over. I see you coming up in 2 areas of this reading. We have you here as the King of Wands, but I also feel like you're coming up as the Queen of Pentacles. I think money be something that's on your mind in the month of October. I almost feel like you're wanting to rush something along, maybe because you're waiting for the profit or you're waiting for some type of gain to come out of a situation. But it's almost like you have to wait and let things accumulate. You need to be patient. There's a great impatience here. And the cards are saying, have hope. Don't lose hope. Be patient. I feel like maybe you've invested in something and you're worried about not getting a return, so maybe you pull out early. And that's not the wise thing to do, because it's saying here that there's going to be a turnaround for this. So don't do things out of emotional bias, okay? You want to be like the Emperor in the sense that you're in control of yourself, your domain, which is yourself, your body, that's your temple. So it's a matter of controlling your emotions, because the Ace of Cups is beneath that too. Don't act out based on fear or emotions or any emotional bias. You want to think of this as objectively as possible, because when it comes to business, it's about business. It's about what adds up, dollars and cents. Don't make it into something it's not. Or don't rush the process along because you're eager to make a return, pull out early, and realize you could have made a lot more if you just would have been patient and waited. I think for some of you, this is about, you don't want to have to take a loan out on a personal investment or want to put an end to some kind of personal investment, but you're kind of feeling like that's your only hope right now, because maybe there's a financial situation that's kind of got you a little stuck. And the Emperor here and the Knight of Swords is a reminder, and the Queen of Pentacles. Don't rush in making this decision. The Star here is saying have hope. There is a turnaround here. I see you being very emotional this month, and it's somehow tied to money and home. Maybe you made a bad investment, or you think you've made a bad investment in the month of October, and you're worried about whether or not, this is going to cause you, like, down the line, it's going to cause some real problems for you and your family. But I don't see that. I think there's, again, going to be a turnaround. Um, Security, financial security, material wealth, that's certainly on your mind this month. I see you wanting to bring about more wealth for yourself, for your family. The cards again are indicating it's not something you can rush into doing. It's something that it's a process. It's going to take time to build a castle. It's not something you can do overnight. And I think you're very aggressive about wanting to make money this month. But and you're going to be successful. The cards are saying success. We have the Ten of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles here, the Star. You're coming up also as the Queen of Pentacles, so there is certainly money to be had and money to be made, but it's just not going to be real easy coming, or as easy as you hope, and it's not going to be as quick as you hope. It's going to require actual work. And don't allow emotional bias. In other words, I want to say not even necessarily emotional bias, maybe emotional bias for some of you, but for others of you, it's pessimism. It's more like negative thinking that is holding you back from being financially successful. Again, I just feel like you're rushing into investments and rushing out too early, or it may be not even an investment, but an idea for an investment, or an idea for a business, or an idea to make money. And you put some of your effort into it, but then you pull out, too soon, before you can really see any substantial growth. And it's not getting you anywhere. You can have financial wealth, you can have security. It takes time. And I want to say it takes patience, it takes practice, it takes repetitive mistakes to realize what you're doing wrong for you to get it finally right. So it's something here about in the month of October, maybe you're acknowledging that because you're worrying yourself over nothing. You're worrying yourself too much, I feel. There is some good news, positive news regarding money, regarding finances, regarding your stability. Just don't be too irrational, or too quick to make judgment on something. Give it time to flourish. I'm going to use these Gypsy Oracle cards, and we're going to look at this a little bit more in depth. I want to look at the Ten of Pentacles at the very top first. For some reason, I'm just feeling very drawn to that. Okay. So we have the Sigh card, and we have Young Woman, Pleasure Seekers. I'm kind of, again, getting that when it comes to this idea you have about making money, or maybe just handling money in general, maybe you've been a bit naive in the past. Now it's time to maybe say goodbye to those habits, or maybe for some of you it's realizing you've let go of things too quickly in the past, realizing you've been too quick to judge, because the young woman's somebody who's a bit naive. She doesn't think things through per se. So I kind of feel like you're kind of realizing your mistakes. This coming up on the Ten of Pentacles is saying that your mistakes in the past are now being acknowledged, and you're understanding what needs to be corrected to bring about the wealth that you want for yourself. Nine of Swords. Look at the Nine of Swords. Cheerfulness, sweetheart, and letter. So I'm feeling like this is talking about, we go from a young woman to the sweetheart card. There's a growth here between these two women. This is a young woman. Okay, so she's just beginning in womanhood, maybe teen. And then we have this sweetheart, which she's a little bit more older, a little bit more mature. She's in her mid maybe. But it's the maturity, it's a sense of maturity going from one thing to another. And this coming up on the Nine of Swords, where there's a lot of doubt, fear, maybe sleepless nights, anxiety. I want to say for some of you, I see like pacing almost. And these cards coming up on this Nine of Swords is talking about a growth in you, a maturity in you with handling finances, understanding finances better. Um, and it's through this, I want to say with the Nine of Swords, I feel like growing pains a little bit, like maturity. It's an understanding and saying, I never want to go through this again. I never want to feel this way again about money or about finances. It's a growth. And you know what? Like I said, money's coming in. There's opportunities coming in. We have cheerfulness. We have letter. There are offers going to be coming in financially. So with this coming up on the Nine of Swords, it's telling you, like, relax. Things are going to be okay. Nine of Pentacles in the center. You're wealthy. You're going to be wealthy. You're going to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. You're not going to have to be dependent on anybody else. But I just feel like you need to manage it better. Let's look at the star. Yeah. So we have Fortune, House, and Love on the star card. Star card's all about hope. So positive turn in events, something more substantial, something you're going to love. You're going to love this turn of events. I want to say for some of you, regarding love, I feel like some of you are waiting to hear from an earth sign. And I think, either an earth sign or a water sign. Okay? So Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I think you've been waiting to hear from this person. I think you're going to hear from them this month. And it's going to be a positive thing. It's going to be a positive turn in events for you. Okay? So if that's you, that is one message. It's more love related, but I do see them returning in the month of Earth. And I think they're going to be the one to communicate to you. Okay? Let's look at what's going on for single Sagittarians for the month of Earth. We have Five of Swords, the Devil, Five of Cups, King of Swords, Queen of Wands, Temperance, Four of Cups, Seven of Cups, Page of Wands. And at the bottom of the deck, for overall energy, is the Magician. Alright, Sag. I gotta tell you, there's somebody coming in, can be an air sign. So we're looking at Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. I feel like there's a lot of sexual chemistry with this person, but they're not necessarily a healthy person for you. Okay? I think they bring a lot of confusion for you, and you feel uncertain as to where you stand with them. I want to say there's a need to acknowledge your own power in a situation and not let somebody else control you. So when I say that, what I want to say with that is I feel like you're meeting somebody here, and if he or she, if they're not an air sign, or even if they are, I feel like they are somebody who, they're kind of black and white, right? And they don't mince words. They have maybe a more dry or sarcastic sense of humor. But I feel like there is a strong sexual chemistry and compatibility between the two of you. However, I feel like there's no real, I don't feel like they're really offering anything to you. I don't feel like there is a love offer on the table. I think, again, there's sexual chemistry and compatibility, but I don't think they want to necessarily offer you a relationship at this time. The Magician is reminding you that you're in control of this situation and what you're willing to invest in this and what you're willing to not. So if you're someone who's looking for a committed relationship, you're not looking to mess around, you want to blow this person off. But they give you mixed signals, because with the Seven of Cups here, I feel like they give you mixed signals, okay? And because of that, again, you don't know exactly where you stand, whether or not you should or should not try to invest yourself with this person. But with the Five of Swords being above this person, I just feel like they have selfish reasons for being in this relationship, and I don't think that they have some real love to offer here. It's all about romance, not romance, but physical attraction and connection. And they break your heart if you try to pursue anything more substantial than that with this person. Okay? You should never have to guess where you stand with somebody if it's a relationship that's worth really investing yourself in. You know? I think when somebody loves you, there's no doubt that person loves you. You know, if that person's really interested in you, they're going to let you know that they're really interested in you. They're going to pursue you. They're going to take the time to get to know you. And this person's not giving you the time. We see that with the Four of Cups under that. They're not giving you really the time to get to know you, but at the same time, they're throwing you mixed signals as if, you know, they're like maybe saying they want to, but are they really doing it? Actions speak louder than words, remember that. Let's look at the Four of Cups. Death, reunion, and friend. So for some of you, maybe this is talking about a reunion with somebody you've already ended things with. Maybe you've kept in contact. You've kept a connection, like a friendship. But the cards are saying this isn't a good idea because, again, they have selfish reasons for wanting to reconnect with you. It's all about the physical side of it. Look at the Devil. See what that card says. Room, fortune, and young woman. So I feel like when this person comes in, it feels very fortunate, but there's something here with the Room card. There's some secrets, and you're maybe a bit naive or just ignorant to it. You're unaware that there's something else going on here below the surface that's really not healthy, and it has to do with this person's selfish tendencies. We have two fives on either side of this Devil card. So two fives talk about conflict, things not being, having a strong foundation, you know. Look at the Five of Cups. Yeah, look, it's telling you right here. You've been wanting a real relationship. You're waiting for that. But this frivolity card, this talks about fickleness, and it talks about sexual chemistry. But sometimes it's just that, you know, that's all it is. It's very fickle. It's here today, gone tomorrow, you know. So there's some deception here regarding this person. I feel like you're waiting for this person to offer you what you really want, but they're not going to. They lie to you and say that they're going to, but they're not. So, you know, look, it's up to you, and that's what the Magician is saying here. For some of you, this would be, I'm okay with just connecting with somebody on a physical level. You know, I'm okay with having a friend with benefits kind of situation. For others of you, this is an ex that will be coming back saying they want something. They're confusing you. Ultimately, it's not going to turn out any different. You know, there's still some selfish tendencies there. They're still kind of cold. They're not giving you what you need. And you're far better off continuing down your path of healing with the Temperance card, moving on from it. And then for others of you, you know, where it's like, I just want something more serious, I'm looking for something more substantial, you not even want to give this person the time of day, and this reading is just a forewarning that this person's coming up. So on Temperance, we have Sweetheart, Joyfulness, and Wife. I think you're hopeful for that kind of relationship, you know, where you are someone's sweetheart, you complete, I don't want to say complete them, but you bring a lot of joy into their life, and it's a relationship that has something significant, you know, a substantial offer. I don't think it's this person, though. They're kind of just out for themselves. So watch out for that this month, okay? And also with the Magician, you have to understand this is about as above, so below. So if you want to create and manifest for yourself the kind of love that you truly desire, you're going to have to stop thinking about the partners that you don't want or dealing with people that you don't want, you know. You got to let it go. You got to look in a whole new direction. Let me look at what's going on for couple Sagittarians for the month of October. Alright. Ace of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, King of Swords, Temperance, Page of Wands, and Judgment. Bottom of the deck for overall energy for this reading is the Chariot. Okay. Well, I see two messages here. I see that some of you, again, we have an air sign coming up here. So some of you may already be involved with an air sign, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, or it may be that you or your partner are embodying the characteristics of the King of Swords. So this is somebody who is kind of like more focused on the facts of the matter. They're not allowing their emotions to basically, you know, persuade them or deter them from making a decision. So the two messages that I have here, and this could apply in different scenarios, but I kind of feel like some of you are saying, I'm done in a situation, and you're walking away from it after spending some time really trying to work on it and make it work. But there's some sense of lack, emotional fulfillment, emotional abundance. I want to say you feel like you're no longer connected to this person on an emotional level, and maybe this is something you've been wanting to heal, but you haven't been able to fix it. And the only way to really, I don't know, to really find what makes you happy is to move on. Because I feel like this is where you're really thinking about yourself, and what makes you happy. You've been working so hard at trying to make the other person happy and make this relationship work, but now you're at a point where it's like, well, what makes me happy and where am I happy? And it might ultimately be you letting go of a person, or this person. For others of you, I kind of feel like this is a month in where you're telling your partner, look, I'm not getting what I need in this relationship. For some of you, it's emotional. For some of you, it's financial. But somehow you're not getting what you need. And I think that you've been with this person long enough to where it's just kind of like you've built this system in your relationship, and the ways that things have been going, it's like maybe it's a lot of work for you, and you're not getting what you want in return. So this is about you acknowledging it and talking to your partner and saying, okay, something needs to change. We need to have a talk. This is not working. And in order for me to feel like I'm getting what I need in this relationship, this is what needs to happen. And I feel like you and your partner successfully work on repairing this relationship. Ultimately, it's about getting back to what initially brought you two together. It's about reconnecting. I'm getting a strong emotional, but also for some of you, this is financial, okay? But it's about getting back to where you were at the beginning and realizing, okay, this is where we were, and we need to get back there. We need to go back to doing what we were doing. So spending more time together, reconnecting. And for some of you financially, this is about, look, it hasn't always been this way. It's been this way for some time, but it hasn't always been this way. In the beginning, you had your deal and I had mine, and maybe we need to separate that again. So there's a couple scenarios that could play out. Again, it's a general reading, so different scenarios apply, but that's what I'm seeing here. Overall is the Chariot, and the Chariot is about success. It's about overcoming obstacles and being successful in accomplishing that. So whatever obstacles you're facing in your relationship, again, for some of you it's walking away, but for some of you it's actually speaking up and working on it. I want to look at the Six of Cups first in the center here. Yeah. So Six of Cups is about going back to the way things were, you know, when they first began in this relationship. But it's also it's in the center of the reading, so this is really a significant card, and it's about bringing things back to the way they were, but also remembering your partner, why you fell in love with them. You know, we have the Doctor, which talks about healing. We have Sai and Priest. So I think this is the time in which you're acknowledging with your partner that things need to change, otherwise they're going to have to end. So you can either repair what's wrong. It's kind of like almost an ultimatum situation. We have to repair what's wrong, or we're not going to be able to fix it, and we're going to have to say goodbye. I have faith, and let's have faith that we can turn things around. And it's through that sense of optimism that maybe you can bring this success back, successfully bring it back into your relationship. I want to look at, sorry, I'm dropping cards here. I want to look at Judgment. This is about, I don't know why the cards are just popping out. A new way of doing things, a new life, a new way of perceiving things, a new way of communing with your partner, understanding your partner. So for some of you, flat out, plain and simple, it's about money. It's about talking with your partner and saying, look, I need you to help me out more. Money's been tight, money's been on mine, money's been hard. I need you to put in your half. And I see them actually doing that. And for others of you, this is just really about rebuilding that sense of security in your relationship. But it takes you having that communication with your partner and both of you making an effort on moving away from what no longer works and trying to really practice what does work. Let's look at the Eight of Cups. So it's on your mind here with the Thought card. You have a strong connection with this person. It's more than just a romantic interest, obviously. You have a strong connection, a friendship with this person. And to walk away would be the very last thing you'd want to do. Okay? Because you have built up a lot with this person, but ultimately there's something missing here. And if you must, you'll leave this partnership to find it. It's kind of a desperate situation here where it's like, look, I can't live doing it this way. You got to help me out. I need you to live up to your end of the bargain, or I need you to acknowledge that this needs to change. Something here needs to change. Let's look at Temperance. Sweetheart, cheerfulness, and thief on Temperance. I'm sorry, I just heard something and it freaked me out. I've been having this happen all evening and I don't know what it is, but I think this is the last reading I'm doing for the night. Oh, now I'm getting chills. Alright, Sweetheart, Cheerfulness, and Thief coming up on Temperance is talking to me about healing. Definitely, I mean, Temperance is all about healing. But it's about reconnecting with your sweetheart, okay? Reconnecting with the passion that brought your relationship together and finding that joy, finding that happiness. The thief can be about someone robbing your joy or robbing that happiness in your relationship. And it can be, you know, a situation, like I said, a financial situation. Or for some of you, it may be the pessimism, okay? Just have faith that you two can work on this relationship and you can make it what you want it to be. Ultimately, I do see love here. So I think you definitely, I mean, leaving the relationship would be absolute last resort. But yeah, talking with your partner, working on the relationship, that's definitely on the table. And I definitely see that with the Chariot as the overall energy, you're going to be able to overcome your challenges and be successful this month in doing that, okay? So that's what I have for you. Also, I want to say just real quick with this, for some of you, maybe that a partner hasn't been working and this is the month in where they find work. So that's one of the positive messages here. Anyway, thank you, Sagittarians, for watching. If you're interested in a private reading, please reach out to me via the information in the information box below below this video. Can't even talk anymore. I've been doing readings all day. I'm kind of burnt out. But thank you for watching, and I will be back in. Bye.